Hello fellow crafters, this is Nala. Today we're going to be doing a video on an Altenew product. This is the Craft Your Life project kit for October. It is called Sunshine Flower. Upon purchasing this kit, you will receive stencils, stamp, dies, and a guide on how to color in, and as well as other inspirations. Now these flowers are large. They're very good for 5x7 cards, but they're also good for 2-for-1 cards. The stencils has multiple stencils or multiple coloring spots, I guess you could say, for the flowers, and they're all labeled. I'm not sure if you could tell, but they're all labeled so that you know exactly which stencil to use with which portion of the stamp. The stamp as well has a label that lets you know what is for what. This one's right here, it's B. And so that you are able to correlate the stencil with the stamp when coloring it. Now, the dies also came with 2 dies a die each to cut these out, and a flower, both flowers. Now it also includes this one sentiment that says, "Hello friend," which I think is really cute. The guide, I'm just going to show you inside really quick. The guide just provides you with some inspiration. If you're just getting used to these kits, you can make your own version of the templates that they provided for you. They also provide ways that helps guide you when you're doing your layering stencil, layered stencil, utilizing your layered stencil. Well, I don't know why that sounds like a tongue twister. But this kind of helps you so that you can know exactly what to line up and where. And I think this is an amazing tool to have with your stamps, because we struggle. Sometimes we just have to figure it out, or we go on YouTube and find someone else who did it so that we can use our stuff. So I love that Altenew does that. Okay, let's get started. First thing, I'm gonna use a A2 size card. This is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. That is the A2 size. And I'm also going to use my favorite thing, cling rubber stamps, a background stamp. This is the Romantic Script background stamp. I'm gonna use Craft. I like the way the craft looks, and I think the kind of image I'm going for, I think this is gonna go perfectly. So I have Simon Says Stamp Pigment ink. This is white. And I'm just gonna pounce right on top. Now, like I said, I'm not trying to go for a perfect look, so I'm okay if it's not as heavy on one side as it is the other. It doesn't really matter to me. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to place it on there, try not to shift it. I'm going to take another cardstock, put that on top, and I'm just going to push down the cardstock. And let's see, pretty good. I don't know if you can tell, but you see how some areas is like lighter than the other. So like right here is a little bit light. Here is really pigmented. Over here on the side is light. That's the kind of look I'm going for. So we're gonna take this. Now to clean off my stamps, I use Gina K's Tidy Towel. You just wet it. I keep mine in this little bowl, and I don't tighten it. I typically try to leave the seal open so that it doesn't cause any mildew or any horrible smell, because it can have that nice, but you know, that water smell. Trying not to get that paper. So get that nice and dry. And what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna let this dry before we get to the next step. Okay? But we'll prep for it. But I was going to use it for something. And then I have this Gemini Loving Tag die set. And what I want to do is I want to take this heart and this heart. Now, what we're going to do here is create a stencil of our own. I do have some some hearts stencils, but for those of you who may just be starting off and do not have that many oh Lord, look at that. Do not have that many stencils or may not have certain stencils, you can try this technique with the dies you do have. Oh, shifted a little bit, but I think I like that. The die machine that I use is the Big Shot Sizzix die cutting machine. I believe I bought it in Tuesday morning, I think, was how I got it. Tuesday morning was selling them, and I didn't know what it was at first, and I was like, ooh, it says something about crafting, so let me just get it. And I bought it, and then I figured out what it's for. And let me tell you, I don't know how I did scrapbooking without this machine. So here it is. We cut out 2 hearts, and this is going to be our stencil. And you can honestly save these 2 for future cards. I have a little basket that keeps all of my my die cuts that I don't use, and save it for later. You don't have to throw it away. Let's go to stamping. And we're just going to try to utilize our time to the best of our ability, because we know we have lives. We have lives, and some of us have kids and a family to take care of. And let's be real, our family does not think we have a life outside of them. And honestly, are they wrong? Are they wrong? Do we really have a life? We don't. Not if it doesn't involve them. All right, so I don't want to use too much of this paper, so I'm just gonna put it right there. That corner is a precision stamping tool. It helps to make sure that you keep, for one, stamping the same spot that you stamped last. So when you have to do a restamp because it did not stamp correctly the first time, Misty has your back. Ooh, Lord. I just flipped right over. Okay, so first we're gonna prime it because these are new stamps. So we're just gonna run our hands through it. And I'm going to use the VersaFine pigment ink for fine details. I love this because for most part, it's normally a one and done. Like, I normally don't have to restamp, but I do anyways, just because I can. It's just like that privilege. Like, I can restamp, so why not? All right, we're gonna make sure we put this at the end, put this down. And we're gonna add a little bit of pressure. Let's see. Okay, so a little bit more. So we're gonna just do it again. Pat, 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 pat. And then in the same spot. Ta-da! Love it. Look at that. Look at that beauty. All right, take my tidy towel. Kind of just gonna tap this to let it, so I can dry it for a little bit. And we're gonna put this back where it belongs. I forgot to mention, I'm also using the sticky grid mat, I think it's called. This is from My Sweet Petunia, the same company that the Misty tool's from. And what I love about that is that, well, about this sticky grid mat, is that I can place my paper in there and I don't have to worry about it shifting when it's inside. Typically, once I put this in, I know to always bring it to the corner. I don't have to worry about it moving anywhere. I just gotta push it right back to the corner. So this I think is a must. I leave this one in there And then it comes with two other grid mats, which I think the grids are smaller. The pigment ink needs to dry. So I'm going to push this aside, allow it to dry so that we can color it in. Now, there's no rhyme or rhythm to how you're gonna do this. You honestly place it where you wanna place it and then color it in. That's it. So for me, I'm gonna use VersaColor pigment ink. First, I'm just gonna go to the corner because I want it to kind of look like it's like floating in, right? So I'm gonna go to the corner up here. We'll put a little piece of paper. Actually, I have these ink mats. This is from Hobby Lobby. And it kind of protects my desk at the bottom so I can protect my project. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna, 'cause these are pigment and so these are very juicy. See that? We're gonna dab off a little bit and then we're just gonna go in and we're just gonna tap. Because I want it to have a light look and I still want you to be able to see the words. Isn't that gorgeous? And we're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna move this around and try to get it in different places. So that's that. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Kind of gives it like a almost like a translucent look. Some is dark, some is light. I love it. So you can save this. You don't have to throw it away. You just save it for later for when you want to do another pattern, or maybe you just want hearts and you don't want to do the lettering, script lettering in the background. You can utilize this over and over and over again, especially if it's a thick cardstock. So I'm just going to save that. We're going to let this dry. This is next. We're going to actually trim this down. This is my Tim Holtz Tonic Studio trimmer. I love this trimmer, honestly. I started off as getting one from Walmart, and then I love how small this is and the fact that it fits on my table without it like wiggling off. And I love how the blade, it's like perfect cut. I don't know what I would do without that thing. I love it. Tim Holtz does a great job with his products. And I'm gonna use, this is the waffle flower mat, okay? You just take the first film off. I'm not going, you can take the bottom off so that it can stick to your glass mat. I'm not going to, because the only thing I'm really working with is this. So we're gonna use the A side of these stencils. Did put guides so that you can see when it separates, so it makes it easier. So let's put this in order. 1, 2, and 3. We're gonna use Simon Says ink today. So we're just gonna line this up, and it kind of helps use the inside, and just line that up. This is enough to hold it. It's literally holding on by this corner, and down here. Let's see if it's enough. The colors that we're going to use today is from their Simon Says saturated, positively saturated ink, and limeade and Citrine. I hope I'm saying that right. And I have some brushes here. And we're gonna start off with the limeade. And I'm gonna do a very light application of this. How about we move this here and move this here like we're supposed to? Yes, much better. Right. Let's see if this holds. All right, tap off, good tap. And we're just going to lightly brush these. And when you are using the brush, you want to make sure that you turn it in both directions, just because, for one, there's ink in every direction, and these are very saturated inks. So you're going to have inks in different parts of the brush. So move it around to kind of help get that ink out. And you have the option of, let's say you were trying to put this in the light, where you want to make maybe this side brighter, this side darker because it's in the dark. But for this demonstration, I'm just going to use the same color. I have a Post-it sticky note here that I'm going to utilize because I don't want no more accidents. We're going to now do the inside. Now, first thing, it's the same concept. Line it up, and it's very, very easy to line up. And I'm actually, let me see the Cappuccino. Just gonna clean my brush off really quick on a paper towel. You really see I have a lot on there. And let's, yeah, that looks a lot better. Okay. So I'm gonna cover this up here just in case. And I'm just going to just lightly go in here. That's it. That's literally all I'm gonna do, very lightly. And then we're going to switch it over. And I'm actually gonna let this hold this down this time because I need this to be protected. I'm gonna put my hand just like that, okay? And we're just gonna go in, grab a little bit more, and we can let this darker since this is the last part of this stencil. So we'll do that part darker. All right, like archivals, for example, where it will kind of stain your stamps or your stencils. Just make sure you wash them as soon as possible. Now we're going to use the Citrine, and we're going to tap off again. Okay, and go ahead and add that nice dark yellow to it. I'm going to take, this is the Nuvo Midas Touch Shimmer, Aqua Shimmers. And I'm just going to make sure I don't have a lot, okay? And we're just going to leave that on there and kind of give those little areas a shine. Try not to stick it inside, kind of just go over it so that you only get it on those areas and you don't go underneath. You want it to kind of show exactly what you're trying to highlight, but that'll just give it a nice little shine. Look, oh, that is gorgeous. I'm gonna put this in a little bucket of water and soap that I have. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? And it's only on that dark yellow. Oh, we're gonna get on to the leaves. This and this, this and this. First, second, first, second. This goes on this side and perfect. I'm not too worried about the outside because we're going to die cut this out. So I'm not worried about that. Cover this section up. And we're just going to lightly go over until we have the exact darkness we want. But if you want to do like different colors, you can get very expressive with it. You know, make it a colorful leaf, maybe for Pride Month. Turn it into a rainbow leaf, whatever your heart desires. So that was Tropic, and now we're gonna use Aegean, I think it's called, or Aegean, I have no clue. And honestly, I'm just gonna brush this out a little bit here. Now, this one's very juicy. Look at that. It is very, very juicy. So definitely you're definitely going to want to tap that off. So now we're just gonna align the inner, this part right here with the flower, and everything else should lay where it should lay. We're just gonna go in, and we're gonna add that darkness. Now what I'm gonna do is, I don't know if you noticed it, but towards the bottom I decided I'm just gonna let it ombre out. So I'm gonna start heavy at the bottom and then just go out, but slightly, but keep that bottom nice and heavy. Perfect, I got it on my nails. Of course I did. Look at that, let's see, still got it down there. Guys, I'm telling you, I'm a very messy crafter. But if you're not making a mess, you're not crafting. That's just what it is. Look at that. How beautiful. Now this I am going to clean because I have a bad feeling. I just have a bad feeling. Now we're going to die cut it. That looks good. All right. I have some Easy C tape and I'm just going to tape the outside of this and run it through my die cutting machine. Okay. Look, that's a pretty perfect cut. Not bad. Not too bad for an amateur. And trust, I'm an amateur. All right. So now we're gonna bring it all over, bring it back here. Now to go with the additional side, and we're gonna take the very first one, the additional side. And I believe it should fit. It's gonna be tricky, but we can do it. Very small, very small, okay? But it's definitely all in. So I'm gonna run it through my die cutting machine. And this kind of lets you know that you cut every part. When you see any ring of some sort, you have cut it perfectly. And take this. Now, originally I was thinking about going like this, but now I want to capture beautiful flowers. I want as much of that flower in there as possible. So I'm thinking maybe like that. So what I'm going to do though, because I do want, this paper is not that strong, and I do want this to kind of pop up a little bit. So I'm going to take the die that we used to cut this, and I'm going to cut out 3 more papers out of my scraps. I'm just going to put that on the bottom just so it doesn't pop up in the front. So we're just going to add a little glue. I use the Barely Arts precision glue. And I like to put my needle there, right? And then we're just going to layer that right on top. We go again. Getting another bottle, so when I want like a good amount of glue, thicker glue, I can just use the other bottle and then have this one for my more finer ones. But I don't know, I'm thinking about, I know my Sweet Petunia came out with that new, that glue gun kind of a thing. I don't remember the name of it. But I'm thinking about getting that, I'm not too sure. still trying to see if I really need it, because I always knew that this was a job that I wanted to do when I got out the military. And so that was what I told my husband as to why I needed those things and why I had to get it all. I had to have it all. And ooh, be very careful. I didn't ruin it or anything, but you do want to make sure you clean your desk. I'm just going to take a piece of paper and we're going to now cut out the outside. So all of here, we're going to cut those out. Just because I know that it will be completely glued down. Once you line it up, you can move it since it's glue, then hold it down. And what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna put my Misty on top. And we're gonna hold that down. Now, bring back the Misty tool. Just gonna place this here, and I'm just going to stamp these like that. Now, kind of give that same shine back. So I'm only going to do it for the big hug. So I'm just going to put a little bit right over here. Ooh, that was a lot. I'm going to use VersaColor. And this pigment ink, because it stays wet, we can heat emboss. I'm actually going to tap this off very so slightly, and then do that. Okay. And I'm going to put this down. I'm just going to slightly run through it. Perfect. Ooh, it looks like I might have to do that one again. There you go, much better. Then I'm gonna take some clear. And I'm only gonna put it on the big hugs. And just tap that off. That looks good. Now this is a clip that I got from Dollar Tree. It's just a regular clip. I think it's for paper. But let me see if I can let you guys capture this. That's beautiful. Look at that. You got it all. See if you can get that beautiful gloss look. We're going to cut out, that's not that. What's this for? Oh, so this is what I found out. This is the shadow for this. See that? Ah, good to know. Hopefully I just stamped the right big hug then. Yes, I did. Awesome sauce. Of Easy C tape. And surprisingly, I don't buy that much. Like, this might be I've been crafting since 2019, I think it was. Oh, you know, I almost forgot about this little one here. So I don't remember which company these are from, but I do have, I know these are spellbinders, but I do have these. All right, let's die cut this out. Perfect. right. Now we got that. I'm thinking, I feel like out here it's just out, right? Like I want the sentiment to be the center of attention, I guess you could say. Maybe here. But I feel like it covers that flower so much. You're in my thoughts. I might just want to use this because I don't want to take away from like the background. It has the whole loving, the script, which, you know, like kind of like romance if you think about it. You know, the glitter, the flower. I think if we just put "You're in my thoughts," I think that honestly is perfect. All right, and we're just going to keep this straight. I'm using my guide here to keep it straight. And then I'm just going to drop it like that. I'm going to take my Simon Says ruler. And I'm going to line this up. There we go. And we can go ahead and push it down. Perfect. Now we got to add gems. And I'm going to save this for later in case I needed another card. You'll probably see it pop up one day. I'm going to place these both in an individual container. All right, this is what we're doing. One of the hardest things I have to do is the sequence. There's something about the sequence, like it has to be placed strategically. Can't just place it everywhere, and it is the one that trips you the most. Oop. It's trying to figure out where you're gonna put your sequences at. All right. Finish. Here's the finished card. And I love how this turned out, especially that shine. I can't catch it. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. Remember, you matter, you're beautiful, and your life is the beautiful art of this world. Thanks, and I'll see you later. Bye.